Oh shoot. What's up, good people? It's Saturday night. Do you know where your children are? Hold on. We need to have a discussion. We need to talk about some things. Let's talk about some things. Um, hold on. Why is this? Okay, I don't know how to fix it. Anyway, let's have a discussion. I would normally eat this late, but one of those days. Somebody hit me up. Hold on. Hold on before I say that. Okay. So somebody hit me up and said, "Look, I was watching. I was watching one of your old videos, and it hit me that I was living a lie." I said, "Wonderful." No, I didn't say wonderful because they were living a lie. I said wonderful because they come to that realization. See what I'm saying? Isn't that a good thing? Hold on, I got stuff popping up. Okay. The realization, right? The realization that I once was lost, but now I'm found. I once was blind, but now I see. What's up, Andre? I'm living. She said, he or she said, I'm living a lie. And they said, I don't quite know what I'm going to do about it. And I said, see, that's the kicker. People think they want the truth. Truth is half the battle. The question becomes, once you get the truth, what you going to do about it? Hmm? I tell women this: when you go snooping, when you go looking for stuff, what you gonna do about it if you find it? If you ain't gonna do nothing about it, then it probably ain't a good idea. Hmm? It probably ain't a good idea. I know this is so rude to be eating, but I'm hungry. They said I've been living a lie, and it just hit me. And they said I don't know quite how it happened, but as I look back at the sequence of events, there were several things that shouldn't even have gone this far. God, that's so good. Do you understand that? Like most people are living a lie. You had many indicators. Spirit is always talking. You had many nudges. You had many aha moments. You had many nudges that said, abort, shut this down, go left, exit now. But you kept right on going, didn't you? That's what we was talking about tonight in the inner circle. We had Bible study tonight. We was talking about the story of Abraham and Sarah, who were first named Abram and Sarai. Now, here's the thing about names in the Bible. There's three keys to understanding the Bible. This is what I was telling the group. You got to really decide. Let me venture off. Let me pivot just for a minute. You got to decide where you want to go when it comes to spirituality, in particular the Bible. You can decide you want to go. You can just be angry. You can just say that it's all a lie, right? That it was misinterpreted, misconstrued, it was plagiarized, it was stolen, blah 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 blah. You can get into you can take that mindset and you just stay mad. You ever seen a person that has kind of had an uh what would we call it, a surface level awakening, and they mad at everything? It's like the mind has turned on, and they're just angry, like they mad at everything, right? And that's fine for a little bit. But at a certain point, you got to come out of it. Like, you still mad at your grandma because your grandma, took you to church, and your grandma made you pray to Jesus. Like, come on, bro. Like, so you can take that approach. You can also take the intellectual approach. You can start diving deep into the historical context, and you can argue and debate about what is actually authentic and who did what. Greeks, Romans, the Hebrews, the Egyptians. You can get into that, right? And the nerd in me is fascinated by that aspect. I like to see, what was discovered here and who did what and what that came from. But you only got a certain amount of resources to dedicate to anything this lifetime. So for me, I ain't interested in anything that is not going to enhance my life. I'm not interested in spiritual, or should I say intellectual masturbation. Y'all arguing about what's authentic, what version of this, I don't give a damn. The version that's before us is more than enough. It's more than enough game in there to take you where you want to go. It's more than enough wisdom in there to have you living exactly how you want to live. You understand what I'm saying? So we were talking about how you got to decide what's your approach on this. Our approach, if you're in the inner circle, this is our approach. We about that wisdom, metaphysical, and the occult, which means the hidden, which is my favorite, because you got to have an eye to see. And there are three keys to understanding the Bible. And the first key is you need to understand that all names equal nature. It's a nature of man that's being described. And so the story of Abraham and Sarah, that's what ends up happening, right? It walks you through this biblical story. It's insane, though, right? Anybody with a logical mind, like, if you're taking your logical mind trying to read these books, it ain't gonna make no sense. Like, do you really think that God would say, to prove your faithfulness to me, take your son up to the mountain, put him on a stack of woods, and set his eyes, not just set him on fire, because the wood was for the fire, but to stab his ass first? Does that make any sense to you? Okay. So, first biblical key. I'm just giving you this little tidbit. Well, we're not going here, but just go with it for a minute. The first biblical key is name equals nature. The second biblical key is consciousness is the only reality. That's the whole freaking book. It's talking about consciousness. When you see the names change, there was a transformation within that man. There was a shift in consciousness. That's how Abram became Abraham. He elevated, he put down the lower for the higher. And so now he became Abraham. Sarai became Sarah. Andre said it becomes easier to ignore the lie the longer you do it. You damn right. Apply the Bible gems and ignore the church politics. The game is everywhere. The game is everywhere. Okay? It can be the Bible, it can be the church, it can be Trump, it can be politics. It's game everywhere. The Matrix always giving you game. 2020 put that on display for us real time. So the story of Abraham and Sarah, if you're not familiar with it, so they both old. Abraham is like 100, Sarah is like 90. God tells them that they're going to bear a son. Okay? What would you be thinking if God told you that? And you was 100 and you was 90. You know what you would be thinking, like, nigga, what? Like, God, I hear you, brother, but I don't know. I don't know. So, what do humans do? Humans will hear inner guidance. This is what divine wisdom is. You get a clear, it comes in clear initially. This is what you need to do. This is who you need to do it with. This is where you need to go. Now, you don't get a lot of the details. Spirit gonna tell you what to do, but it ain't gonna tell you how to do it. That it wouldn't be faith otherwise. How the hell are you operating in faith if you know every step to take? You know what I'm saying? So the message be clear, but as the story goes, they hear God say this, right? Sarah says, or Sarai at the time says, well, I'm going to give Abraham my handmaid, Hagar, because she's young. Like, think about how that makes sense. Like, this me and my husband, God said we're going to bear a son, and I'm going to hand over the handmaid to my husband. This, what? Okay, so they have a son. God says, nah. Nah, I ain't tell you to do that. I ain't tell you that. I did not say that you was going to hand this over to somebody else. Right? That ain't what I said. I said, y'all. Y'all was going to have a son. And guess what Hagar means? Doubt. Doubtful thinking. That's what you do when you get a clear picture. You get a clear picture on what it is that you're supposed to be doing for your life and the direction that you're supposed to be going. You get a clear picture that this is no longer in alignment with your highest good, with your highest timeline. And you say, I'm going to take my intellectual mind and I'm going to figure out a way to do it so it makes sense to me. That's what they did. That's what they did. That's what we do. That's what humans do. You get higher mind says, this is the way to go. It's what you need to be doing. And you say, well, see, what I'm gonna do is let me put this shit together first. Let me plan this. Well, let me get my ducks in the it ain't tell you none of that. It said move. And all you had to do is just accept that, just to receive that. So as the story goes, it's a fantastic story. All the biblical stories are just fantastic. When you learn how to read it, it just comes alive, right? It's just like, so good, so good, so good. So as the story goes, let me see. I'm gonna kind of skip around. So you have to go, and I believe this is Genesis 22, if I'm not mistaken. I think as the story goes, all right, so they have that. God comes and tells them, no, that ain't what I told you. What I told you was y'all was gonna have these kids. Y'all was gonna have this son. God tells him to go to Mount Moriah. Right? I think I'm jacking this story up. I think, does he have the son first? No, he has the son before he goes to Mount Moriah. Nonetheless, not important. They end up deciding they're going to act in complete faith. Right? And they bring forth the son. The son is Isaac. Her son is Isaac. Isaac represents the highest aspect, right? It's the fulfillment. It's Christ consciousness. That's what Isaac represents. Then they get directed to go to Mount Moriah, and Moriah represents the bitter place. The bitter place. This is the place when you get direction, like when you're supposed to do something and you don't want to do it, but you do it anyway, right? You feel like you're getting divine, you're being divinely directed, but you really don't want to do it. Like you don't want to forsake certain things. He goes there, and God directs him to take his son that he prayed that was a miracle essentially, right? He's 100, his wife is 90. They have this son, and now God is telling them to prove your faithfulness. Now, if you reading this literally and you think that this makes sense for God to direct you in this way, okay, whatever. I want you to prove your faithfulness by taking your son up to the mountain, put some wood on his back, right? Lay his ass on the wood and take a knife and stab him and kill him. So he proceeds to do that. The son thinks that they're about to go sacrifice a ram. That's what the son Isaac says. Isaac keeps trying to figure out what the hell is the ram at. He don't realize his ass is the ram. So he puts the woods down. He straps him on the wood, right? And he lifts the knife and proceeds to stab him. And immediately, boom, the three angels. What does the angels represent? Divine messenger. That's what the angel is. Divine messenger. What does 3 represent? Oh, did I give you the last key, the last biblical key? So it's three biblical keys, right? 1, name is nature. 2, consciousness is the only reality. And 3, numbers hold mystery. So the number 3 represents new life or wholeness of life, right? Completion. So the 3 angels say, yo, hold up. Don't do that. Put that back. Put the knife down. Take them off. The ram comes, so on and so forth. What's the whole point of this damn story? What's the whole point of the story? The whole point of the story was, and why it had to be dramatized in such a way for you to really get it, for you to really understand what it's saying to you, that there can be nothing that means so much to you. There can be no idea, no belief, no person, no place or thing that you would put that above the Most High, above your divine purpose. That was the demonstration. He needed to demonstrate that. He needed to demonstrate that every single thing else was secondary. And that's what he did. So that brings us back to, are you living a lie? Are you living a lie? Every person, if you can hear that question, you already know. You ain't got to ponder on it. We all know. We all know. We know. And the person that I was talking to recently, I'm never going to tell nobody what they need to do with their personal life, because I don't know what you need to do. Only you know what you need to do. But I know. I'm just listening to them as they sift through it. But I know. Let me read you something. I don't know if you're familiar with Evelyn Underhill, but I'm gonna tell you, Evelyn be talking that shit. Do you hear me? Let me give you something. I think this will help. This will help kind of bring this together. Okay, this is real short. Just go with me for a minute. We going somewhere tonight. I got time tonight. I got time, baby. It says the most highly developed branches of the human family have in common one peculiar characteristic. They tend to produce sporadically, it is true, and often in the teeth of adverse external circumstances, a curious and definite type of personality. A type which refuses to be satisfied with that which other men call experience, and is inclined, in the words of his enemies, to deny the world in order that it may find reality. We meet these persons in the East and the West, in the ancient, medieval, and modern worlds. Their one passion appears to be the prosecution of a certain spiritual and intangible quest, the finding of a way out or a way back to some desirable state in which alone they can satisfy their craving for absolute truth. You know it. You know it. You feel it. I ain't even got to say it because you feel it. This request for them has constituted the whole meaning of life. Not all the other shit that everybody else told us is the meaning of life. Not all the other pursuits. Not all the other goals. For them, this craving for absolute truth constitutes the whole meaning of life. They have made for it without effort sacrifices which have appeared enormous to other men. And it is an indirect testimony to its objective actuality that whatever the place or period in which they have arisen, their aims, their doctrines, and methods have been substantially the same. Their experience, therefore, forms a body of evidence, curiously self-consistent and often mutually explanatory, which must be taken into account before we can add up the sum of the energies and potentialities of the human spirit, or reasonably speculate on its relations to the unknown world which lies outside the boundaries of sense. Hey, Justine. The intangible quest, the finding of a way out or a way back to some desirable state in which alone they can satisfy their craving for absolute truth. You can only hear me. See, I'm talking to this exceptional. You really not gonna be able to understand what I'm saying. I don't expect you to understand what I'm saying. I'm talking to exceptional. I'm talking to the people who cannot settle for average, cannot settle. And I'm talking about the part of you that cannot settle. I'm talking about your soul. This whole concept, right? This whole concept of, I said I was gonna stay cool, but I feel myself getting riled up. This whole concept when people say 80-20, 80-20, you're supposed to choose the 80 out of life, right? You look on the surface, you look at the things that, what's the hierarchy of needs chart? Focus on the 80 is what they say. Focus on the 80 is what they say. If you got the 80, then hey, you should be willing to sacrifice. Go without. Forego is what they're saying. Forego the 20 for the 80. And I posted this the other day. What they forgot to tell your ass was that the 20 is the heart and soul. So when you pose the question, are you living a lie? I don't know, nigga. How you feel? You feel like you dying? Huh? You feel like you can barely come up for air? You feel like every day is a drag? Are you in the desert? See, the desert is the place where you don't find any spiritual inspiration. This is why most people got to revert to a disciplined life. Very, very, and that's good. I ain't got no problem with it. It's good. But at a certain point, you start to break yourself down. See, if the soul is energy, your key is to tap into that which energizes you. Why are you feeling like life is pulling the energy out of you? Because you out of order, friend. You out of order. That's why. I know a lot of people, hell, you can throw me in there, kind of. Life is been on that ass, but it's for a reason. And there has to be an understanding. If I understand that all things work together for good, if I understand that I'm always in the right place at the right time, if I understand that nothing can be lost, like everything is for me, everything is orderly, everything is to my benefit. Well, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Let's go back to the question. Are you living a lie? Oh, hold on. Oh, okay. Something else. Are you living a lie? And how long are you gonna live it? That's the question. You don't have to wonder. I use myself an example. For Justine said, I've been changing the meanings of things in my life, and it's amazing. Love it. Love it. In an instant, you can change anything. In an instant, you can just decide this is who I want to be. In an instant, you can say, I changed my mind. You do know you got the right to change your mind. You do know you got the right. Like, it's so crazy when you think about it. It's your whole freaking life. Oh, we were talking about 80-20. I got sidetracked. I'm tired of listening to people who are living a lie advise me on proper living. You don't know. You don't know. You're dying. Matter of fact, you're already dead. And you don't even know it. You ain't felt nothing in 15 years. And that's just because you think you just, I don't know. What do we tell ourselves? You can throw me in here. Throw me all up in here. I love it. What do we tell ourselves? That I'm more emotionally mature. I have a better understanding of things. All those are true. You do get a peace about you as you elevate spiritually. That's true. But that ain't what we talking about. You can't. How do we signify? What's the signifier of life? Feeling. You should feel something. And somebody asked me, Rook, they said, I hear everything you saying, but God darn, how much? Like, Rook, I hear you, but you don't understand. First of all, don't ever tell me that. Don't ever tell me I don't understand. Ever in your life. Okay? Don't tell me that. But to the question, how much is it gonna take? How much is it gonna take for you to move? That's why things keep getting worse. That's why you don't get no better. You won't move. And so your soul is like, look at her, look at him. They so cute. Oh, they need some help. Look at the time, 11:33. They need some help. So let me help them. Let me help them with a little bit more of this and a little bit more of that to get them in. I'm done spinning all over everywhere. To get them in position. So the question is, how much more? Oh, you could end it right now. You can end your suffering right now. You can end your misery right now. Going back to the biblical story of Abraham and Sarah. Why did they divert from the initial instructions that they got to bear a son? Why? Because the intellectual mind said, we know a safer way. We know a smarter way. Huh? Nah, I ain't trusting. Come on, man. I'm trying to be thankful even for the hard times. I'm declaring gratitude because I don't know best. We think we know best. We create our own mental prisons. You know what's so crazy? Even going back to that story, I want us to understand what free will really is. Because really the free will is about your perception. You have the right. You have the absolute free will to perceive things however you want. And you can perceive yourself as a victim. You can perceive yourself as being stuck. You can perceive yourself as being behind, all of those things. But there is a higher. I think what bothers people about the idea that there's a higher plan or a higher way or a higher perspective. I think because people create separation between them and it. When you understand that the higher mind is you, it's an aspect of you. It just has a greater vantage point. So I don't buy the idea that it has taken me 5 years to figure certain things out, 10 years to figure certain things. Did it have to take all of that though? I guess it needed to. For me, it didn't have to though. It didn't have to. Telling the truth is like putting alcohol on a wound. Most people would rather die from infection before they deal with the sting. This is why I don't need an accountability partner. You know why? Because the greatest accountability I got is my spirit. And it's always this whisper that I hear that says, "Are you walking the talk, nigga? Huh? What'd you say, Rook? Would you say, are you moving mountains or are you not?" That's all the accountability I need. That's it. I either can make it shake or I can't. I either can say to that, get out of my way, or I can't. That's really what. So when it comes down to living a lie, it's so much deeper than just surface level. You define what that means for you. It's about introspection. The hardships that you're experiencing is because you need to go deeper, and you won't. You will not surrender. You won't. I thought after people experience certain things, I used to say this, that I would say, well, I don't think you can see certain things and then go back, or you can experience certain things and go back. I just thought it was a cutoff, kind of I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't seen people. The power of the mind. The power of the mind. The power of the mind. What cuts you off? When the good book says, "I stand at the door and knock. Any man that opens, I will come in and sup with him." I stand at the door and knock. I don't bombard through the door. I don't bust my way through the door. I don't take the door down. I stand at the door and knock. And the door is the gateway between worlds, between consciousness. So the nudge is there. The nudge is there. We know what to do. We know to act. Coming back to the story. If you get divinely inspired, all you got to do is say yes. All of life is about teaching you how to say yes to your best. That's it. That is the most bizarre thing. And I can go to Twitter right now and start naming things that people can do. Just start naming them. Boom, boom. You can heal this. You can reverse this. And I promise you, I immediately have people coming underneath it telling me why it can't be done. All of life is about convincing you that you are who you say you are, that you are who you think you are. And I don't know, maybe you don't think that highly of yourself. But the good news is the higher aspect of you does. That's where your discord comes in. That's where pain comes in. That's where suffering comes in. You have to surrender. I surrender completely to this. Like that. That is what you're saying. I offer up. That's really what the kneeling is symbolic of. It's a surrender. You see it in, whether it's in church, whether it's in yoga, whatever else. Are you going to answer? I think that's the pain, the place of pain right now for a lot of people is, will you answer? The call has been put forth. You done set it in motion, and you the only one that's blocking it. That's so crazy. All you gotta do is say yes. I used to love that church song. I can't think of Shekinah Glory used to sing that. Boy, that was a good one. All you gotta do is say yes. All you got to do is say yes. That's what I spend my time doing. Showing people how to say yes. Say yes to absolute health. Say yes to love. Say yes to the beauty of life. Say yes to the goodness in life. If I had to narrow down, I told the group earlier, if I had to narrow down a prayer, right? It'd be real simple. It'd be real simple. Let me see you in all things. Let me hear your voice above all noise. Let me feel your love above all emotions. The end. That's all I got to do. I keep my mind stayed on you. It's this constant contemplation. It's this constant communing with all that is good, all that is perfect. Ain't no room for the world to slip in. Ain't no room for the doubt to slip in. I'm solid. It's about I was commissioned into solitude years ago. Not the solitude that you would think, not like, going off on a mountain and you by yourself. This is that interesting solitude where you got to be by yourself while you're in the midst of everybody else. You surrounded by people. And you got to figure out how to create this sanctuary within yourself. Or maybe you ain't even got to create it. It's more about realizing the sanctuary within yourself. I don't think you're creating it. I think it already exists. And resting there, frequenting that. The question that I ask every single time, like anybody I talk to, we in the group, we doing check-ins. What's the first thing you was thinking when you woke up this morning? What's the first thing, the moment that you became conscious? What were you thinking? You don't know, do you? Exactly. That's a problem. That's a problem because you don't know where your mind is. And I can tell you right now, if you don't know where your mind is, it ain't where you want it. I can tell you that. You understand this? Something happens when you speak life into you. Something happens when you just decide, you make this decision that I'm gonna pursue my heart and soul above all things. And I'm not gonna believe the fallacy that the 80 is greater than the 20. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. I ain't willing to do that. I ain't willing to do that. No, no, no. And who was it? Abraham Hicks said, "Law of attraction makes it easy to stay where you practice being. You don't practice being." You know what I find so funny? That people who bang against meditation, and no, you don't need it. You don't need anything. Like, understand that you don't need anything. All of these things are tools. Things are tools. Bashar calls it permission slips, right? Permission slips. So, damn, what was I going with that? Oh, meditation. We're talking about meditation. No, you don't have to meditate. Even though life is a moving meditation, you already meditating. It would be wise to be more intentional about it. But here's the thing. You saying it's not needed or it's not necessary, but you can't keep your mind in the direction that you want it. You can't keep your mind attending that which you desire. You saying affirmations are pointless, affirmations are bullshit, when an affirmation is nothing but a thought. And to say it serves no purpose, but yet you can't keep your thoughts on point. That that's the mind of a fool. That's what that is. That's the mind of a fool. Tools are available for you. Hmm. What's up? Who is that? Aliko? Come on, man. Come on, man. The tools, everything is available. There's nothing missing. And truth be told, you don't need to watch another goddamn video. You don't need to read nothing else. You ain't need. There's nothing else you got to do other than just say yes. That's you just gotta say yes. You have to submit. Uh-oh. 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 Oh, you thought the submission was for women. No, the submission is to the feminine within. Huh? The feminine aspect. The subconscious has to submit to the conscious. You won't even submit to God. That's so interesting to me. This is so everybody got instructions on what everybody else need to do to fall in line. So fascinating to me. Everybody else know how to lead everybody else, but you don't know how to lead yourself. How you can't lead yourself to the promised land? Huh? Why you can't save you? That's a problem. And I don't have I have no problem with hierarchy. Let's do it. I don't want to do everything, quite frankly. But don't ask me to follow you when you don't know where the hell you're going. Don't ask me to follow you when you following the world. I can't do that. I'm unwilling to do that. Are you living a lie? Why should I listen? God bless all the old heads. I love you, especially those who have helped and instill some good things in me. But I'm not listening to your ass. You ain't got no keys, bro. Sorry. No. You're miserable. Nope. Nope. You unfulfilled. You can't even tell me. Don't ever answer old head. Don't, because it might take them on a, they might spiral out. Like, nigga, tell me about a dream you had. What dream did you follow? Tell me what is the inner things that move you, that get you going? What's most important to you? You can't advise me, sister, brother. I'm sorry. I'm not listening to you. I'm not. There's nothing you're gonna tell me. I don't want to hear about your raggedy ass marriages. I don't want to hear about your raggedy ass been at a job and did whatever you was doing for every time I hear that story, every time I hear a story and somebody was working 30 years, retired, and didn't and barely made it to a year after retirement and dead, no, we're not listening to you. You understand me? You're living a lie and you want everybody else to live a lie. And I am convinced that that is all of the advice that we're getting right now. The advice that we're getting is and I'm not talking about me, but this is how it's coming across. I have made poor choices in my life and I am suffering because of it. And now I'm going to show you how you can do it too. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. the fellas trying to convince the women if they don't do this, that's just how they don't live miserable. They ain't looking miserable to me. No, vice versa. Like, we're not listening to y'all. Y'all are living lies, and you want everybody else to join in with your ass. No, you don't have no answers. You are suffering. That's what you are. This is why you feel miserable. This is why you always need. I'm gonna tell you, number one indicator. See, checking your energy levels is always key. But the number one thing, what do you need something to get you going in the morning? Huh? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You need something to get you going, don't you? What's wrong with that? Whatever. If it's okay with you, whatever. Why isn't your fire burning intensely and bright? Why aren't you living your best life? Why aren't you giving life everything you got? If it all comes down to a choice, if all you got to do is decide, if all you got to do is just say yes, if all you got to, you can turn the page at any moment, at any moment, at any moment. You can decide, oh, I don't know what happened here. This shit got out of control. No, thank you. Abort. Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? There's so many ladies, man. I hear you. I see you. I feel you. But you're gonna have to figure out how to bust a move. And I ain't talking about what type of move. You decide what move it is. You know. It's specific to you. But you're gonna have to bust a move. You're gonna have to do something different. Same for the fellas too. I mean, it's enough to go around. It's enough to go around. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm losing a little patience with the fellas. Every time I hear another story about some dude that been married for 10, 15, 20 years, and his latest story, I think it was like 25, 30 years. And this woman was literally killing this dude. I'm gonna tell you. I mean, should we talk about how just being with the wrong person can drain your life force, can bring illness and like, ugh. But guess what? You ain't no victim. I don't want to hear no grown ass man. No grown ass man that stayed in something for 25 years. Nah, 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 no, 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 no. No, you want us to hold a fire to the ladies and we gonna give you a pass? No, nope, nope, no. Well, real, it's easier said than done. Lie. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. You choose your misery, but you also choose your pleasure. You choose your hell. You choose your heaven. At any moment, you can pivot. At any moment, you can decide. At any moment. But see, I'm going to tell you what happens. The same thing happens in the biblical story, Abraham and Sarah. You feel this deep, intense desire. U.S. Anderson said, desire is destiny. That's a key. The thing that moves you, that pulls at your heart. You feel it, you see it. You see it. You see it, right? But then the mind comes in and the mind tells you how this is risky. The mind tells you that this will be consequences to this. The mind tells you that you will experience great loss because of this if you make this choice. And so now you override. This is where free will comes in. The best that you could even ever imagine is waiting for you. But you decide, no, I am not worth that. I'm not worth that. Oh God, the pain that comes from realizing that it has been you all along. It's been you that has strangled the life out of you. It's been you that has, oh God, makes me sick to my stomach. I mean, literally sick to my stomach. Every time I see somebody I care about and I see them pretending to be stuck. Bobby said, where you from? I'm originally from North Kakalaki, born and raised. What I'm saying to you, this is your pain is an indicator. Just like we're dealing with people with illness, pain is an indicator. Pain is a communicator. It's trying to express something to you. Why do you think people? Why are you aging so rapidly? Why are you in pain? Why are you sick all the time? It's an indicator. This is a messaging system. Why? Here's a big one. Just mental fog. Why is it so hard to get going? So hard to get inspired. So hard to, you had all these lists. If you like me, you just got journals and notes that you done wrote over the years of all these things you're inspired to do and be and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, it's so close, but it's so far. This is your soul speaking. This is the soul's way of communicating to you. The thing that you keep trying to make work ain't working for a reason. You understand? It's not working for a reason. It's not working for a reason. It's not working for a reason. Are you living a lie? It's a question everybody got to answer. Everybody that I know, I shouldn't say everybody I know, that's not an accurate statement. But most of the people that I know and care about and have known for most of my life, the old heads, they just came in a different time. And most of them, they're just not open in a way that would allow them to elevate to the level that they could. Then my generation just gave up. Just gave up. I saw the fire in people. I remember the conversations. I remember the group calls and the aspirations, and it just was a dwindling. And I'm telling you, shout out to y'all, anybody the early 20s, that's already on this wave. Shout out to you. That's what it's all about. That's what evolution is all about. You ain't gotta wait. It's already coming online for you. That when you look around, that I am not here to live like this, and don't make no apology for it. None, zero. That ultimate demonstration by Abraham in the Bible was literally about there is nothing, right? When you go to the altar, right? The altar represents where you go to let go of the lower. I forego the lower for the higher. That's the altar. I go to put down all of what I think, my thinking, right? My way of doing things, my way of seeing things, even my perspective of how I thought things were going to unfold. I will put that down and I will trust completely. It ain't really a trust if you can see the way, if you can see the answer. That's not a trust. Come on now. That's not trusting. What are you talking about? No. If I tell you, think about it. If I say, come walk with me, think about how you feel, right? You just walk. Me and you, we just walking. We in the park. Then I say, let me blindfold you and come walk with me. That feel a little different, don't it? That feel way different. That feel way different. Where we going? Where we at? Right? There's agitation. There's not a sense of peace. There's not a sense of comfort. And that's all of what we're being led to do, to be still and know, to find your center, the place where all things are known, where all things are in order, where there is safety. That's the only safety that exists anyway. I don't know what other safety y'all trying to find. All the people who I see prepare for bad things always have bad things to respond to. Well, congratulations. Congratulations, you did good. You got exactly what you was expecting, exactly what you was looking for. Justine said, I've been praying to stop having expectations and opinions about how anything should be. I just want God's will, and I'm practicing this so I can change from within. You know, that's the dance between worlds, right? There is a choosing. You get to decide, right? There are things that I affirm for, things that I desire. But it's always this, and you absolutely can get what you want. Like you can disregard. You ever had a nut? You ever had an urge and it said, don't go there? Don't leave with them? Don't ride with them? And then you do and you get in an accident? Free will, right? You got you got the indicator that said don't. You disregarded it. You disregarded it, which was your right to do so. Just like now. There are people who I know. I hate that I feel it in the way that I do, but I know that has a reason as well. But like it I mean, I can literally feel like it's a choking, almost like it's taking air from me. The thought that you would spend your entire life limited, that you would just accept that. You would just accept the bare minimum. You would just accept, all because you're too afraid to deal with, I was about to say the unknown, but you know what? The more I think about this, I don't think we're afraid of the unknown. It's not the unknown, it's the known. It's what we've seen before. That's it's the memory. It's the I got a pain point here. That pain body says this looks familiar, and I know where this will lead. This is why I can't trust nobody. So I can't trust nobody because I know how people are. I've seen these things. I've seen these patterns before. It's pattern recognition. Doesn't that make me a smart human? It does. It does. It just cuts you off from your divinity, though. That's the only problem. And so that's what the choice comes to. It's like, okay, damn. All right, which one is it gonna be? That's a choice. With Rook, I want it to be both. No, no. You cannot have two drivers in a car. There can only one driver. Somebody got to ride shotgun. And you got to decide what it's gonna be. Which one gonna lead this thing? Which one gonna carry this thing through? Somebody got to listen, there has to be a dominant. Something has to dominate. You understand what I'm saying? Are you living a lie? Are you living a lie? A lie has a way of, early on when this matter of fact, in 2 days, yep, it'll be 10 years. When I first started to change my diet, went plant-based, started detoxing my body, all the issues that I had, got rid of it, all of it. But I got to a point, right? This took a few years. I had a bunch of stuff going on, a bunch of hormonal issues, night sweats, digestive issues, acne, all this stuff. But I got to a certain point after years passed, and it was something about me just didn't feel right. I'd already dealt with all the main issues and things that I had going on, but it was something else that just went right. And my spirit said to me, hold on, I'm trying to plug up my spirit said to me, you've done good. My spirit said, you have figured this physical thing out. You figured out how to use the food, you figured out how to use the herbs, you got that. Good job. It said, but the rest of this is going to require you to get in order spiritually, and you out of order. I didn't really know what that meant. I kind of did though. Why? Because we always know. We always know that when you living out of order, what does that mean? I keep saying it. What does that mean? Are you where you need to be? Are you where you're supposed to be? Are you doing the work that you're supposed to be doing? Are you in the community that you need to be in? Are you in the city, the state? Are you laying beside the person that you should? Huh? Should you be with anybody at all? Only you know that. Do you have peace or don't you? That's the easiest way. Do you have peace? How do you feel? How do you feel? Are you still in the struggle? Something interesting about this struggle that I found out even about myself. You can slip up and make a God out of it. That if it ain't a struggle, that if it ain't hard, that if it ain't challenging, you think something is wrong. You think that you're not earning your keep. At a certain point, you should get to a point of rest. On the seventh day, he rested. That's 7, right? Completion. That's the knowing that I'm good and I ain't got nothing else. I don't have to do anything else. we were reading the verse, faith without works is dead. And this is very misinterpreted, right? Most people think what it's saying is that in addition to your faith, you need to be doing something. If that ain't the opposite of spirituality, I don't know what is. let's take it a little bit further, right? Let's take it just a little bit further. The doing, right? The faith without works. See, the faith is the drive, it's the power. The works is what you put the power into action. So you just having this new idea and believing the thing is not enough. You got to stay there. I go to prepare a place for you. This is all happening in mind. So that where I am, you will be also. You got to stay at that place. And that place has to confirm to you that I am good, that I am well. This is why y'all so easily shaped by the news that come on. You ain't ready. You ain't ready. Y'all want to argue like what version of the Bible is whatever. Like we talking stupid shit. Are you ready? Ready for what? Whatever. Whatever. Are you good? Are you untouchable? If you're not, I'm not interested in that other stuff. Can you make it shake or can't you? That's the message. Can you make it shake, baby, or can't you? When they come, you wake up and they got on the news, on social media, there's the alien invasion. What you gonna do? You going out of your mind? You panicking? You got to put that to the test. I need you to test. This is why I like when we do challenges. We're about to start learning about fasting, right? Getting into some fasting. And I like the agitation that comes up. Hey, Elise. I like the agitation that comes up, right? When you start to get into these challenges and that crack, like I ain't never done crack, but I'm just assuming that crackish like feel, right? You need something, and you can get something, but you can't get what it is that you want. I want to observe what it's like when I'm used to one thing and I'm expecting one thing and I don't get it. I need to know how to separate myself from that. And I don't wait until game time to test that out. That's not smart, now is it? By the time the world spin around to put some foolishness before me, I done already been there and done that 5 or 6 times. What you talking about? Like, what can the world do to you? What can the world do to you when you standing on truth? When you living in truth? That's the marker right there. That's what's going to take you to the next world. I don't know if you get into, or if you believe, or if you understand what a new world is, what parallel timelines is, what multiple universes are. It don't really matter. But there's a track that I just been hearing this. Leave it all behind. Everything in that timeline, group, everything and everybody in that timeline, leave them where they are. That's what I've been hearing. Obviously, I ain't been following instructions, or I wouldn't keep hearing it. Obviously. You don't have to change you. You ain't even got to change your situation. You just got to leave it behind. That's the key. Leave it behind. When you sleepy. All right, Elise. I ain't gonna be going much longer anyway. The leaving behind, right? Lot and Lot's wife. When God told him to get out of Dodge, bro. And he said, whatever you do when you leave, do not look back. You know what the woman did. But what does the woman represent in the Bible? The subconscious mind. The subconscious mind. The subconscious mind. We can't revert back to the old program. Eckhart Tolle, I like how he describes the unconscious part of you. The unconscious part of you is the part that identifies with emotional and mental patterns. The triggers. That's the part you don't even know. You don't even know you're doing it. You don't even know it's on you. It's just somebody says something, boom, you gone. You just somebody put a picture of a noose up and you done went back to slavery. Like, whoa, what happened? Slow down. That was not what that was. That was for somebody on a farm did that. It wasn't even for that. What you talking about? Yeah, The question, it's a question that you got to ask yourself as you close out another year. Where you gonna be? The I don't know what episode it was or the last video I did about divine timing. We're using it as a cop out. We're hiding. We elevating beyond. I need you to understand that I don't even know what the best way to describe this. Energetically, consciously, the planet is shifting. Right? It's like, you ever seen some of the new kids and the new babies? They be saying things like, you be like, what? They more advanced. Ain't no going back. You're not reverting back. You can stay where you are, or you can elevate. Those are the two options. Those are the two options. So I was going somewhere with that. Where were we going with that? We was going somewhere. I don't know. They'll come back to me. We was talking about the question. That whole question of, because I think the biggest part with most people is they won't even ask questions. Why? Because they're afraid to answer. And guess what happens when you question one thing? You got to question everything. You got to question your entire existence. Am I living a lie? Am I living a lie? Am I saying one thing and doing another? Huh? And am I saying one thing? Do I have conflicting beliefs? Am I on the surface saying one thing and then underneath? And then there's a guilt. There, right? I don't even know what's worse, guilt or fear. Although you could look at probably guilt is an aspect of fear, but the guilt that you owe something. You owe something to somebody. This whole concept is always this back and forth debate between individualism and, like, I don't know, what's the opposite of that? Like community, whatever. And individualism seems to be selfish, right? It's like, we got to build. We got to be together. We got to, that's surface level shit. I hate to tell you, but it's just you. It's just you. It's your world. Everything is you pushed out. Everything. So, yes, you absolutely have to be selfish. And I don't know if we put this in categories. I don't know if we say that there is constructive selfishness versus destructive selfishness. Is there conscious versus unconscious? I don't know how you want to categorize it. But it's a choosing of self. And if you try to convince me that I'm out of order for choosing myself above everything, because that's what they say, women are selfish. I say women aren't selfish enough. I'm not talking about, we always got there is a sector, right? Men and women that just are horrible. That's just, we're not talking about that. Let's push that. Let's put them over there. But I don't think people are selfish enough, because I know women who have sacrificed a lot. I know women who have given up a lot. And they did it because they thought that was what they were supposed to do. They thought they were following this path, right? The honorable path. They felt like they were doing what they were supposed to do. Yes, the same can go for the fellas as well. So what's the answer? Be a fraud? Continue living a lie? Pretend like it don't matter? To the exceptional ones, you ain't gonna be able to do that. This is really what I'm trying to get you to understand when I say the consciousness on the planet is shifting. Like, you're gonna be thrust in the fire. Do you understand that? You ain't gonna get with so much more time to keep, like, you over here just like dibbling and dabbling. No, your ass gonna get pushed off the cliff. Is what's gonna happen. Because that's what you're asking for. Because the more you desire deeply a greater life, more purpose and fulfillment, and you don't move in that direction, your spirit is going to help you out. That's good, right? That's your support. That's your homie. That's your aid. That's your guide. It is saying apparently you need a little assistance, so I'm gonna help your ass. Oftentimes it don't quite feel the way you want it to, though. I'm gonna tell you that. It's a moving that has to happen. There's a moving that has to happen. And yes, you have to be selfish. You define what that looks like. I don't know what that looks like for you. But there cannot be anything that can come before your purpose, your existence. And people dispute the idea of purpose. What I find fascinating about that is, how do you have purpose for everything else? How does the hair in your nose have purpose? The hair in your ear has purpose. Your boogers got purpose. The bacteria in your gut got purpose. The ants got purpose. The beetle, the ladybug, the trees, every single thing. And I'm supposed to believe I was flopped down, and I wouldn't obsess about it. I don't think that's the approach. I wouldn't overly, I would live and let life reveal itself to me. That's what I would do. But don't tell me that I don't have a purpose. Don't tell me that I've already seen people live like that. I've seen them, and I'm also seeing them now as they get older and life is coming out of them. There's nothing there. That's what a zombie is. People talking about a zombie apocalypse, nigga. That's what is already here. It's now. There's soulless. It's just they've clocked out. I'm not gonna no. Being selfish for me means paying attention to the Holy Spirit, God, my gut, and whatever it is, and acting accordingly. You're not gonna convince me that by putting heart and soul first, that ultimately doesn't benefit everything and everyone around me. You're not going to convince me of that. No. And that's only fear talking. That's what that is. I am afraid to take a step forward. I am afraid to take a leap. I am afraid to do something differently. That's all you're saying. I'm afraid because why else would you be afraid? There's some consequences. You feel like there's risk or there are consequences. And the only way that you could entertain that mindset is if you're thinking from your lower self. That's the only way. That's the only time you're afraid. When you tapped in, you feel on top of the world. You feel like you could freaking fly to the moon and back. Invincible. Nothing can touch you. Nobody can touch you. Nobody can stop you. I think this is who I need to talk to. I need to talk to the exceptional ones who say you doing this, because there should be nothing on this planet that can stop you. There should be nobody on this planet that can stop you. YouTube? What? YouTube is my friend. I come in peace. They come in peace. We ain't got no problems. Why do you have problems? Because you're looking for them. That's why you got them. This is just reality. No, it's your reality. Ain't my reality. I mind my mind. You understand me? There is nothing more important. The reason that the reason that I know that I am in such a delicious place right now is because I dedicated the last 15 years to making that a priority. Rook, figure out how to master the most important asset that you have, your mind. Figure out how to stay there. Figure out how to direct it. Learn how to watch it. Learn how to acknowledge and realize that you are the observer of it. I ain't fighting it. I ain't indulging it. And I ain't avoiding it. That's the difference. That's what allows you to move through this planet. And I don't know how you could see anybody living the life that they desire and then convince yourself that you cut off from that. I don't understand how that's acceptable to you. I don't understand how in the world you could go to a doctor and get a poor report, and the first thing that your mind says, well, it's unfavorable. They say it's only a 10% chance of it going good, and you automatically associate yourself with the 90%. Something in your mind is something wrong. Something done went wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Something's gone wrong. Are you living a lie? The first thing that I would do if I wasn't sure, when you don't know what to do, when you don't know what to work on yourself. That's what you go to work on. You get in tune, get your diet together, what it is that you're eating. One thing about fitness is it gives you time with yourself. And it also helps you re acquainted, what's the word? Whatever the hell. Get reacquainted with your mind, with your thoughts. You start to hear yourself again. You don't know who talking. You don't know when you're being divinely guided because it's too much noise. It's too much noise. There ain't but so much of the world that you can entertain. It just ain't. I'm not one of those. I don't believe in swinging too far left or right. I done seen disastrous results on both sides. Too much in the physical, too much in the spiritual. It's a dance between worlds. But something has to always take the lead. And for me, that's going to always be the unseen. I'm always going to first cause. And the first cause is the unseen. That's where I'm going to reside. The fact that I pissed somebody off today because I posted on Twitter. Well, they posted something about they were a little bothered by the idea. I don't remember what they said, but it was something to the effect that spiritual people or spiritual bros want to associate cancer to the undergird of it is linked to inner discord or inner conflict. He's like, well, tell that to 5-year-olds who are suffering in the hospital. And my response was, their soul isn't 5 years old. And he was not pleased by that response. And I could go to hell, and he blocked me. And my response was, I understand. I'm not here to debate. I understand. You can look at life as an accident. You can look at life as an oopsie. Everything you see in life has an order. But when it comes to things that move you and pull on your heart a little bit, on your emotions, I should say, you just revert to, it's just bad. It's just horrible. It's just no way to explain it. How is everything else? How is there order in every other part of the universe, and there not be order when it comes to life and people? I mean, you don't have to agree with what I said. That's not required. But there are different perspectives. That's what cuts you off. I swear to you, if you don't take nothing else from this, there's only one thing. Anybody who is determined to see will see. Anybody who chooses to find a way out will. That's done. I don't have no background. Right? I don't have no upbringing. This is not in my lineage. Okay? Do you understand me? How I tap in like this? How I figured out how I do it, huh? Listen, this brand right here is this some good Zola, some good coconut oil. How? I had a willingness. I had a desire. You don't get none. You have no right to anything you're unwilling to pursue. You cut off. Access denied. Every religious person that I know, it don't matter what could be shown to them, they ain't never gonna get it because they convinced they already got it. And if I already got it, my hands are full. And if my hands are full, I can't receive nothing else. Done. Access denied. Intellectual people the same way. You got all your little knowledge, all your little books, and hey, I got like 8 books right here beside me. I ain't against the books. I love them. Wonderful. But at a certain point, you can't go no further with just that. It's not enough. And when you find yourself arguing and being stuck in the physical world, that's your key right there. That's your key. Uh-oh, I've gone too far. I've drifted. I've drifted too far left. Let me reel this sucker back in. Let me reel that back in. There's a knowing. There's a knowing that supersedes anything your intellectual mind can put together. That's what I would lean in. That's what I would go to. I wouldn't approach life that there's anything that I can't learn. Never. Ever. Are you insane? Anything that I can't do, why would you talk to yourself like that? We got to start at the basics. And this is why I get so hyped when I see the young folks coming through. When I say young, anybody that's my daughter age, I consider young, right? But when I see the young folks who just they got it, they primed and they ready, they coming in just feeling unfreaking stoppable. Do you know, like, think about if from the moment that you was 2, 3, 4 years old, that all you heard every single day was how you were all powerful. You were all knowing that you could not be stopped, that this was your world, that it was whatever you said it was. What? Where would you be right now? What would it look like? If you were told year after year, I have nothing to fear, huh? That the world is mine, that the world is a pushed out version of me, that is reflecting me, that it's a mirror. If you were told that for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, there is no illness, there is wellness. You don't put your eye on the problem, you put your eye on the solution. I can't think like you. I won't. And so for those of us who stay in, damn, I didn't mean to do that. For those of us who stay in the world of power, it becomes difficult entertaining other things. And I even have to check myself. You got to check yourself even when you're around some of your family and friends. I have a tendency to not listen. It's really a bad habit. People just be going, And I got to stop doing that, because sometimes they're saying stupid stuff. And I don't want to say to that. Like, one is it's always one thing after another. No, stop that. It's always one good thing after another. It's always one good thing after another. And I hope I become annoying. I hope the more that I speak with absolute power and certainty, that it just filters all the crap out. Move everybody out of the way other than who should be there. Get on out the way. Stay exactly where you are. Pity is your beverage of choice. I cannot relate. And the only way that you can feel pitiful is if you are not in tune with yourself. That's the only way it's possible. It's the only way it's possible. No. If you're dealing with illness right now, for the people dealing with illness, you're gonna have to decide. The same thing applies to you. You're gonna decide what you choose to believe. What will you believe? Do you believe that you stuck? Do you believe you ain't got no options? Do you believe that ain't no cure? Do you believe that? You got to decide. It's all a choice in what you say. Who do you say I am? I am is the gateway. It's your awareness of being. What you're saying is that when you hear somebody say, I am God, what they're saying is, I am aware of the God within. I am aware of being the God within. Do you understand that? I don't think y'all understand what I'm saying. It should be nothing. There should be no limitation. Anything that you start to say that bothers you, start saying some things and see what like take you over the top, right? Start saying I am perfect. See how much that bothers you. See how much that bothers your mental mind. Like, ooh, well, ain't nobody perfect. That's the type of shit to come up when you say, well, nobody's perfect. No, say I am perfect. I am perfect. I am divine. Say it. Say I'm rich. That bother you? Does that make your mind say, "Well, I don't really need to be rich"? No, I am rich. Can you say it? I'm abundant. I'm loved. I'm taken care of. I'm safe. I am all that is. I am one with all that is. I am perfect. I have nothing to fix about me. Okay? I was never damaged. That's impossible. I can't be damaged. How I perceive myself, okay, yeah, that can go in a bunch of directions. It is impossible. It's impossible. Do you understand? You guys are taking things that you've experienced in life, and this comes back to the question: am I living a lie? You take the things that you've experienced in life and you make it your word. You make it your gospel, right? I get so tired of that shit. I got ADHD. I got depression. I get why? What? Who told you that? Who told you that? If that word was never, if it was never introduced in our language at this point in time, in this lifetime, what would you say? I'm telling you, from being pregnant years ago, I didn't hear no talk about no postpartum. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. Now, I'm not saying that women aren't experiencing things, because they are. Make no doubt about it. But the more that you put, see, what you guys call awareness is having the opposite effect, because you're putting your attention on the thing that you don't want to bring into existence. So I'd be on the lookout. Like if I was pregnant right now, I wouldn't watch one thing about a labor going wrong. Not one thing. I wouldn't listen to not one example. Well, let me tell you, I just want you to be prepared. No, bitch, you're not going to prepare me for nothing. Okay? You keep that to yourself. Write it down on a piece of paper and throw it away. You understand me? That's how I would view it. I don't care what the numbers are. I would not entertain not one freaking story about it not going favorable. I would saturate my life with every good story, every wonderful, wonderful, great. And it goes for everything else. If I was jumping out, if I was quitting my job, starting my own business, I ain't listening to no stat about how many businesses fail. Why would I do that? Huh? Why is it that it's so difficult? Like nobody ever wants to warn you about how good life can get. It's always about be on the lookout for something going fucking wrong. We ain't doing it no more. I'm telling you, whatever. We ain't doing that shit. Justine said this guy I was dating was surprised I didn't know when my mom started menopause. I'm like, why does it matter? I'm not her, and we have two different bodies and habits. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I got, I don't know if it got deleted or not. The Twitter deleted a bunch of my drafts, but I promise I want to slap. Why would you? Why? I'm not gonna get off on a tangent. I'm gonna just say one thing. The same way that all women don't experience PMS, all women do not experience symptoms of menopause. Let me just tell you, all women do not have a cooch dry up, have hot flashes, mood swings. So you can see, and that's the beauty of life. You're getting to choose at every moment what side you want to play on. You want to play on pity? Okay, cool. You want to play in power? Okay, cool. You don't care about yourself enough, because if you cared about yourself enough, you will have a no tolerance. So you got no tolerance for, I don't know, do you have? I hope you have it for some things. I wouldn't let none of that seep into my world. It's why I don't watch certain things. Y'all like to see, it's such a desire to prove how knowledgeable we are. So I'm gonna watch all the movies that I say is predictive programming, so I can come and tell you this is what they planning. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? I have not had a nightmare. I couldn't tell you the last time. I ain't had a nightmare in years. Probably, I don't know, at least 5 years. Why do you think that is? Because I used to have them a lot. You got to move yourself into the frequency that you want to be in, and you stay there. That is your protection. Your attention is your power. Your frequency is your protection. Certain people can't get to me. I'm out of reach. You understand? That's what power does. It puts you out of reach. You ain't gotta worry about. You worrying about the wrong things. You worrying about the wrong thing. You ain't, you do it however you see fit. You understand what I'm saying? But I just don't understand the point of knowing all these facts and knowing the history and philosophies and all the things, and you're still pitiful in your day-to-day life. I don't want to, I'd rather just go back. Just put me back asleep. Let me go back to just being unconscious. Let me go get me some McDonald's. Dr. Feels Good said, haven't watched a horror film in years too. Yeah. And me, oh my God, me and my aunt used to watch them all the time. Like the worst of the worst. It's why? What am I watching it for? What do I get out of that? I'm gonna tell you something else, and this is a lady thing. I know it is because I've seen the memes. I've seen the memes float around on social media. What's that show? Not the X-Files. The damn. It's like with all the murder cases. It used to be damn, used to come on Friday night. I used to watch that junk every Friday. Like somebody kills somebody, and then they do all this, put all the pieces together. No, man, no. Forensic Files. Was that what it was called? I thought it was called something else. It was something ID, I thought. I don't know. But because Forensic Files wasn't real, right? This was actually based on like real stories, real investigations and stuff. It doesn't matter. Let me give you something. Let me give you something real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Let me give you something. This is so important of saturating your mind. This is so important of saturating. I mean, it's got to get to obsessive levels. As you get ready to step into 2025, I need you to get like more obsessed than you've ever been in your entire freaking life. In your entire life. I mean, if you think you're doing a lot in keeping your mind on point, I need you to like triple, quadruple, 10 times, 100 times that. Like, what happens if we did what book was that? I think that's U.S. Anderson, 3 Magic Words. That's a good book, right? And I'm going to tell you what the last chapter tells you what the 3 magic words are. But midway, I think in chapter 8 or so, he talks about how you should do a 30-day mental diet. I love this because, oh God, it exposes so much. You think you know where you are in your mind, but I'm telling you, until you take inventory, you do not. You do not. Unsolved mysteries used to be good too. But you take 30, this is what it looks like. For 30 days, you entertain nothing but the highest thought for yourself. Now, this does not mean that some other thoughts won't come across, but you don't entertain them. You cannot entertain an unfavorable possibility. You cannot entertain a negative thought. You cannot entertain a pitiful thought. Like every thought, and you have to complete this in sequence, right? For 30 whole days. And if you get a day 8 and you got to start back. Just the practice of it, just you seeing, trying it out to see where your thoughts are. I'm telling you, it's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind. Like, oh, yeah, it's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna show you where your gaps are, especially if you get like into intentional manifestation. right? When you're really trying to move things in this world to look the way you want, you got to get so double down, triple down into your mind and your thoughts and your attention and what you're saying to yourself. Here's another thing. It's the imagination. See, if I was to call you right, if you got a call right now, right? Oh, I don't even like to give these examples because I don't like planting these seeds, right? But let's just say you got a call about someone you care about. They say you need to get here quickly. Let's just put it like that. We don't go no more details in that. You need to get here quickly. Something has happened. You need to get here quickly. Most of us immediately, our mind is going to a bad place. You get a call at midnight and it's saying get here immediately. Your mind is not saying, oh shit, it's probably a party popping off. No, your mind immediately is going to start to do. What do we know? We know when somebody calls at this hour, it's usually not good. We know if somebody says get here quickly, but they won't give me any more details, that's probably not a good thing. And so immediately the thoughts begin to create these images. Scenarios start to play. Okay. It was Joanne who called me. I know when Joanne, they usually go and do this. So was there an accident? Are they hurt? All of the negative starts to flood in. And you think you're doing a good job because you think you're preparing yourself for what you could be stepping into, when immediately you could say all is well. Everything is good. Everybody is good. Everything is good. All is well. Everything in my world is flowing with ease. Like, do you understand what that takes? Do you understand that what's required for you to develop that skill of leaning? Is it a skill? What we want to call it a skill? I think so. I think we could call it a skill. Yeah. What I'm saying to you is, even the question of living a lie is so much deeper than just what you're doing on the surface level. Because you could be fooling yourself into believing that because you have different practices that you're moving in the right direction. You could, while you're really living a lie. Because like church folks, yes, you're going to church, yes, you're reading your Bible, but your life is an exact opposite of that. That would be the definition of living a lie. It don't have to be, you cheating on your wife, right? And you got a whole second family somewhere. It don't have to be that. It's just the fact that you, mind and heart, are not in alignment. That's the key of asking. That's what we all got to ask ourselves. That's what we all got to examine. My thoughts. Where am I? What am I doing? What am I seeing? What am I entertaining? What am I seeing for myself? Like, do you see for yourself every single day things working out in your favor? Or are you planning for the worst case scenario? Are you planning for things? I used to do that for work. I used to have, I know if that helper say so-and-so, this is what I'm going to do. If he do so-and-so, and I could have just as easily planned for the day to go smooth, plan not to have any chaos, not to have any discord, to have absolute harmony. I could have done that just as easily, but I did not. When you hear about something running in your family, and that's what you put into your mental bank, and you internalize it, so now you embed it in your heart, right? You put it there, you keep it there close. And now you put on your calendar, I need to go get checked out every year to see if I have this thing that runs in my family. Do you understand what you're doing? And you act strange, bizarre, as if, oh, when that happened, I can't, damn, Lord, you brought that to you. You hop right onto the timeline. And I don't know, some people look at it like they were smart. I caught it early. Did you? Did you catch it early or did you create it? Which one? Which one did you do? Somebody made a post and said, what are you people who never get sick? What was the secret? What's the secret? I hear no sickness. I see no sickness. I speak no sickness. Sickness ain't on my radar. You understand me? I don't look for it. I don't expect it. There is no such thing as cold and flu season. Not in my word, is not. You understand? Why would I entertain anything else? I would not. When people say all women only want a man for his money, well, guess what type of women that you're going to find? Guess what type of women you're going to encounter? Ta-da! And you think you're proving your point. That's what you think. You think, oh, I told you. The last 3 women, they was all some old shiesty heifers. And all you proved was just how powerful you were. You got, so they say, 8 billion people on the planet. You mean to tell me every single one ain't shit? All of them? That must include your mama too. Your grandma too. Like all of them ain't shit? Huh? You can't tap into none of the goodness of life. You can't link up with none of the good humans in life, none of the good men, none of the good women, none of the good friends. You only get the worst. Ooh. I wouldn't tell nobody that. I wouldn't. I would. I don't know, friend. I wouldn't. I wouldn't tell nobody that. I wouldn't. I would deeply evaluate myself. And for those who are say they in the know and those who are spiritually in tune, watch what you're saying. You cannot say that I'm all powerful. You cannot say I'm a creator of my reality. And then at the same time, say, oh, I'm not getting the results I want in life because people just suck. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You either gonna get this power or you not. You either gonna be powerful or you pitiful. You either a sucker or you're not. Ain't no freaking in between. You see what I'm saying? There's no in between. Like I don't want to be around people who don't understand that they can have whatever they want. I don't. Like if you pitiful, just get away from me. And I hope that when I speak with power, it runs you off. I do. I do. I think people who just want to be pitiful just stay with other people who are pitiful as well. And I think y'all just need to just freaking let it marinate. And I don't know, but you gotta decide as we close out another wonderful year. I know there's a couple folks that come to mind who I know in a really, 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 really tough spot. And I'm telling you, one of my favorite new quotes is, you're only in an impossible situation because you believe it's possible to be in one. Let me say that again. You're only in an impossible situation because you believe it's possible to be in one. You can bust a move at any time. You can change directions at any time. You just got to know that. Like, and as much as I feel for, the whole situation and all that good stuff, it's like, okay, now what? What you going to do? Are you going to stay in pity? Or are you going to stay there? Are you going to stay suffering? And I think really for most of us, that's what our soul is like, begging us to just say yes, to just stop cutting yourself off. Just say, all you got to do is just say, I surrender. What does I surrender mean? I accept what's before me. And I open myself up to receive greater. Then that's it. Some people are more comfortable in their misery than the thought of change. It becomes real familiar. And I'm telling you, it's really real where people don't feel worthy. People don't feel worthy of love. They don't feel. I saw a wonderful, wonderful quote the other day about this. Let me see if I can find it. And essentially what it was saying was we keep asking for position, right? We keep asking for greater. We get a taste of that and it scared the shit out of us. That's what self-sabotage is. I now don't feel worthy, or I don't even trust myself enough to be a good steward over it. I don't even feel like I didn't got a good person. And the way that I see myself, coming back to the unconscious, right? What is the unconscious? The part of you that identifies with emotional or mental patterns. That comes back to say, I don't even, I might do something, I ain't even that good for them. I might do something to hurt them. I might do something to destroy them. I'm not even deserve. Like, do you see what you have to do? What has to happen for you to get in tune with yourself? I need you to start with your diet. I want to go back to that. We veered off a little bit, but it's very, very important of when you don't know what to do, get back in tune with yourself. When you don't know what to do, pull away from the world. Pull away from the things that keep you bound to this physical experience, that keeps you heavy. I don't even have to tell you the difference between eating. You know damn well Thanksgiving, you go and eat all that bullshit, you want to take a nap. If I take you and I say, come on, let's go, we go get some smoothies and a salad, you know the difference between how you feel. This does not need to be debated. We don't need no study. This is just basic common sense. You know that. Now, what you do on a regular day-to-day basis, that's not my problem. I'm saying when you're stuck, there are ways to unstuck yourself. You do what it is that you can do. I don't even remember where I saw that quote at. It's really not important. But the whole point was, are you really ready for what it is that you're asking? I think. And I don't even think you are if you won't ask, am I living a lie? Like, am I living phony? am I afraid? Am I afraid really to take that? Because we all say we don't care what people think, but you love your mama, you love your daddy, you know something gonna be said. You know that people gonna ask them about what it is that you're doing, and you really don't want to put them in a bad spot. So you do care. You do care that the backlash that could come to them, you do care. You do care that you got a position in the community, and if you do this, there's going to be things said and misinterpreted. And people always, lie about stuff. So there could be blowback, and it's not that you care per se about what the people will say, is that you don't even want to deal with it. So you do. Justine says, I was living a lie. I was terrified. Ooh. Well, I was telling someone that, and they were saying that they were in a really tough spot, and I know they are. And I can relate. I know exactly what, well, our situations are not the same, but the whispers are there. You know. You can feel it right now. If you can vibe with what I'm saying, you feel it right now. You feel it, you know it. You just gotta ask, is this year, am I gonna leave this year the way I came in it? Am I going into the next year am I gonna stay or am I gonna move? Is it worth it to me? It might not be worth it to you. What it costs you, it just might not be worth it. Then stay. I know a lot of people who do. I was talking to an older gentleman, and he was saying, I like talking to the old heads because they be talking in third person, right? Like, I know you talk about yourself, but okay. So he said, well, sometimes he didn't say stuck. He didn't use the word stuck. Because I know absolutely he wants to leave his wife. I know that. But he not. He said sometimes, you've done something for so long. You don't even know how not to do that. anymore. Like, essentially what I hear is I'm stuck. You ain't in your God bag when you talk like that. A God ain't never stuck. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. But he was saying, it's just like sometimes people just, it's like, where would you start? And that's real. That's where you got to lean into higher. You got to lean into higher. It's, I don't know why you wouldn't want to though. That's the way I look at it. Like, isn't that a good thing that you ain't gotta do all this on your own? That you ain't gotta carry the load by yourself? I like that. Like, look, deal with this shit. Nah, it's too much for me. And how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? All I know is I've seen too much. I've seen too much. And every time I talk to somebody like that, it's my reminder that can't be me. And it's not even about judging. I'm not judging. I think everybody got to decide. If you decide that you're gonna suffer until you die, that's your choice. If you decide that the risk of leaping is greater than the risk of you living beneath your potential, I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. Maybe you can do it. I think if you are more unaware, you might can do it. I think if you're not as in tune with your soul spirit, you may can do it. Some of us on that path, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work. And you ain't gonna stop until it all come crashing down. And I'm happy for you when it does. I am. Why would I not be? Why would I not be? That's what you desire anyway. You desire to move closer. So anything that moves you closer, it should be a good thing. Well, Rook, I don't want it to be that. I don't want it to go like that. Well, then do something about it. That's the option. Every time that I've ever been in a place of pity, that's what I hear. That's what I would hear above the pity. What you gonna do about it? I hear your little cries. I hear you little feeling sorry for yourself. But what are you going to do about it? Because we got enough people online who broken and bitter, right? We got enough fellas who hurt up. And so now they want to advise all the young brothers, right, with terrible ass advice, because you're not leading with heart. You're leading with your head based on what happened to you. You toxic and you giving toxic advice. We got enough of that. We got enough women who've experienced terrible situations, chose poorly, whatever you want to call it. And now they're advising young women, this is what you do. You take them for everything they got. We got enough of that. We got enough. That's covered. Those bases are covered. We don't need no more of that. The question now is, how do you take responsibility for your life and the choices you made? See, a God gonna look at things like, if all of the world is me, I chose those people. I chose those circumstances. I am the circumstance. That's what unity consciousness is, right? There's a grid, right? When you look at sacred geometry, it's a grid around the head. It's a triangle. Right up here, the crown consciousness, crown chakra rather, right? It's like this wheel of light, wheel of energy rather. And then to the right of you, to the left of you. The way I see it is, conscious sitting on the left, subconscious on the right. And when it comes together, that's unity. That's the unity consciousness. You have to drop down into the physical, into polarity. What was the point I was trying to make with that? I forgot. It'll come back to me. I was full of self-pity last year. Then I learned gratitude can be considered the opposite of self-pity. That helped change my view of what was happening. That's that you put the power in that thing. That's what you did. Like that's the affirmation. I can never be pitiful. I can never be pitiful. No, I could never be a victim. Everything always works in my favor. Everything that I see is me. How can I bang with anything? How could I have an enemy if everything I see is me? How can I be sick when everything I see is me? How can I be afraid when everything I see is me? Huh? How can I be stuck when everything I see is me? How? How would that work? See, you ain't seeing right. That's the whole problem. When I understand, when I'm looking, come back to our initial prayer. I want to see you in all things. Show me your face in all things. I love that affirmation. I am determined to see. I am determined to see. If I can see me in all things, that settles everything. I ain't looking for no love. I am love. I ain't got to look for no lover. I am the lover. I am the lock and the key. I am the teacher and the student. Hmm? 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 I am the God and the Christ. I am the God and the Son. Right? It's all me. So what do I have to be afraid of? What do I have to worry about? It's an understanding that we have to have. Once you do that, you are free. That's true freedom. That's true freedom. Whether they get rid of taxes or not, baby, you are free. You're no longer bound to this world. That's how you elevate up out of here. And I don't mean, not yet physically. But that's how the grip that the world has on you is gone. There's no fear that you have. You don't have a fear of being alone, right? You don't have a fear of not being loved. You don't have a fear of money running out. You don't have a fear of food running out. You don't have a fear of not living your dream. You don't have a fear of, whatever your goals are falling flat. None of that. It's a knowing. I know that I'm good. I know that I'm taken care of. I know that I'm protected. And we start getting intentional about that thing. And I like when I love when the physicists jump into these conversations, right? Because they bring you the science that you want. And so you start talking about transurfing, you start talking about parallel universes, that the life that you want, the version of you already exists. All you got to do is hop there. It's a leap in an instant. It's a leap. It's it. You don't believe that though. See, I can't help you with that part. That's what cut you off right there. You like, Rook, I was following you a little bit, but you think you got to earn your way. You think you got to work your way. There's something to do. You have to see. You won't yield. You won't yield. That's the feminine aspect. That's what you got to get in tune with. Every man has a responsibility with getting in tune with his feminine side, and every woman has a responsibility to get in tune with her masculine side. This is when you know thyself. This is the knowing of thyself, the other aspect of you. But fellas can't do that because what? That's soy, that's gay, I don't know, whatever y'all call it. So you cut off. So be a strong man. Rah. You don't even understand what strength is. You don't even see strength in peace. You don't even see strength in rest. You don't even see strength in stillness. And that's your problem. That cuts you off. That cuts you off. Right? Same thing goes for the ladies. Right? You got to submit. There has to be a submitting to the part of you that is all knowing. You submit to that aspect of you. You submit to the director, that which is leading. There is something that is leading me. I say, you got it. Go for it. But when you're not in tune with that, no, you figure out, I got it. I got all the answers. I can't let my guard down. I cannot be in a state of rest because something might go wrong. I got to protect myself. And the problem with the idea of protecting yourself is that you see danger. And if you are everything you see, then guess what you're saying? Yep. Yep. You the danger. I don't see danger because I see myself. I don't see danger because I see God. I don't see illness because I see God. I don't see illness because I see you see where we going? You see how we just keep looping through this? It's a different aspect. It's a different understanding, rather. And it's revealed to you. All of the smart people, um, Justine said, I'm constantly reminding myself, relax, you're not in a race. It feels good to slow down and be. That's such power. That you can run faster than I'm running. You can have more resources than I have. And I'm not only going to get to the same spot, but I'm going to beat you there. You don't have that. You ain't operating from that though. That's a different way. And everything that I try to help people understand is that holding on to the world ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. God knows it ain't worth it. It's because you're going to be pitiful. And that's why I won't entertain. There's a friend of mine. Well, I guess you could call him a friend or associate of sorts. Their network is jacked. And they feel beholden to that network because the network has helped them. And the problem is their network is a liability. And not because they're not good people. God, it's so important. Not because they're not good people, but energetically, they're not in tune. They're a liability. They end up, you by associating with them, you bringing them into your cipher, now compromises you. And you don't even realize it. Why? Why? Because you loyal. You ain't loyal first to the truth. Nope. That's why I can't be in no cliques. I don't give a damn about your clique. Because if I can't rock with it, I ain't rocking with it. I don't care who it is. Or why don't you be a little easy? Why don't you just know? No. They don't. I don't vibe with them. You understand? And energy is the most important thing. And I know that now. I will never compromise that again. Can you override it? Yes. It takes a lot of work. And maybe that's assumption. So maybe I shouldn't say that. But it's a choice now. So no. That's how I'm gonna choose. That's what family is. Family has little to do with blood, has little to do with DNA and all this other crap. When they asked Jesus, they was like, yo, I love this verse. They was like, disciples, like your moms and them is outside. Your brothers in them. And Jesus said, who? Who my family? My family are those with the mind like Christ. That's who my family is. And I don't care what nobody feel about it. I owe nobody nothing. That's the greatest thing. I used to say I did. I know you a lie. Lie. Yeah, he said it. That's what he said. Because I early on, some years back, I struggled. I wanted to know, like, this obligation thing. Guilt got me. I'm telling you, that guilt and obligation, So I really was like, well, I want to see, what does the word say about family? Like, what is my obligation to family? I wondered too what my obligation was to my birth father, right? Because I never met him. And I wanted to know, should I go? This was my religious days, right? So I felt like, did I have a obligation, or did God require me to at least reach out and try to make amends? Now, why would I need to make amends? What did I do to need to make amends? That don't even make no sense, does it? But that's what my mind was at the time. So that's when I started diving into it. Like, what does the word say about family? And I was like, ooh, got it. You can't hold me to none of your physical restrictions. No, none of that. I ain't bound to none of that. I owe nobody nothing. I do what I want to do. I link with who I want to link with. I spend time where I want to spend time. I honor what I want to honor. I take care of what I want to take care of. I love what I want to love. You don't get to tell me that. There are certain people that I haven't talked to in a long time, and I wouldn't care if I never talked to them again. And that's not, I ain't a bit. There is not an ounce of ill will there. It's just a non-factor. You can delete from your reality whatever you want in an instant. Boom, that no longer works for me. Don't like it. But I'm a little, you know, I'm a little, So I'm not saying that will work for you. I'm just saying I am free. And when you are free, you release all of these attachments to the world, all of these attachments to people, all these attachments to outcomes and how things are supposed to go and how things are supposed to be. It does not matter. It does not matter until you say it does. Why? Because life only means whatever you say it means. If you ever seen two people experience like traumatic loss, they lost a parent or lost a child or whatever, or lost somebody in an accident or something traumatic. One person, it absolutely takes them out. They stay stuck for 20 years, like they just miserable. They cannot snap out of it. It weighs on them. They never can honor the person's life and acknowledge that, you know what, they now live through me. Nope. It becomes a burden. It becomes a lock and chain. And then there's another person that honors life for what it is, and they move forward. They may do something to honor them. They may start an organization in their name. Whatever it is, what's the difference? Same scenario, same traumatic experience. What's the differentiator? There is only one. This is it. So I get to choose. Anytime I feel, let me, I got something good for you. Let me pull out my notes book. I got to pull out my notebook. There's only one. I had a couple quotes that I like, or a couple of affirmations that I like. I think these are good. You need some of these to refer back to, right? You need things that you can pull out your toolkit at any time. When stuff come up for you, you need to be able, you got to practice these things so that you can easily lean on those things, right? Life is good. You got to tell yourself life is good. No matter what happened to me, I am good. You got to tell yourself that. You tell yourself that until you can believe it, right? Okay, so where is it? It's really simple. I should know it by heart. One, I have these weird things when I journal. I start from the back of the journal and work my way up. I don't know what that's about. But okay. Where is it? I wanted to tell you what a painful thought is, what pain is. It's a good quote. It's a good perspective of looking at it, right? Oh, this is a good one. This is good. I got this from the young lady. I think I got this from the young lady on YouTube. It says, "Today is my appointed day. That was my appointed time." I love that. Why you waiting? Why you waiting? We done waiting. Ain't no more waiting. Ain't no more preparing. Ain't no more we out divine time. And hell no, it is now. It is now. The power of now. My time is now. I ain't got no more waiting. Ain't no more. I done enough waiting. I done proved that. I done patience. No. We don't need no more. All right. One, it's impossible to see two worlds. It's impossible to see two worlds. So wherever you are, you got to say to yourself, which world am I looking at? Which world am I looking at? It's impossible to see two worlds. What am I entertaining? Am I entertaining the inner world or the outer world? I can't do but one or the other. Not at the same time. I can't. I love that one. It's impossible to see two worlds, bro. What are you saying? What are you entertaining? Damn, where's the other one at? Justine says, I started writing verses and quotes that help me in where I am around my home, mirrors, and office. So when those thoughts come, I attack them immediately. I pray immediately before I think. I'm tired of treating God like my last lifeline instead of my first. Oh, thy word have I hid in my heart that I might not sin against thee. Thy word have I hid in my heart that I might not sin against thee. That's where you keep it, where you saturate your mind. You already saturating your mind. You just saturating it with the shit you don't want. You saturating it with pity. You saturating. I don't want to hear nothing else about how hard life is for you. You've told that story long enough. We gotta get a new one. We gotta get a new one. You gotta go into 2025 with a new thought, get a new story. Okay. I need you to think about that. You got a couple of weeks to think about what is the new story. What's the new story that I'm freaking telling? I got one. The only sacrifice required of you is to give up all suffering, all sense of loss and sadness, all anxiety and doubt, and let in love and joy. That's it. Somebody pass a collection plate. That's it. That's what you fighting for. You fighting for your suffering. You fighting for your pain. You fighting. Oh, you think it makes you a good person? It don't. It don't. It don't make you no good person. You're not a good person. You're not even a good person to yourself. How can you be a good person to somebody else? You're not. You're not even taking care of you. You're not even loving you. How can you love somebody else? You're ridiculous. I cannot trust a person who doesn't trust themselves. Nope. 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 I still ain't found what I was looking for. I just had it earlier. Maybe y'all don't need to hear it. maybe that's the takeaway. Here we go. The world I see represents my thoughts. The world I see represents my thought. Pain is the thought of evil taking form and working havoc in your holy mind. Let's say it again. Pain is the thought of evil taking form and working havoc in your holy mind. What is evil? Error in thinking. When I see myself separate from the Most High, that is evil. That's sin. Yeah. Anytime I move away from faith, sin. That's what brings you pain. That's what's working havoc in your mind. You understand? This is important. This is important. This is important. Nothing but your mind can cause your pain. You can dominate all things you see by recognizing what you are. As you perceive all things as harmless, those things will accept your will as theirs. Woo, that is so good. When I accept the bacteria as harmless, the bacteria accepts my will as. What did I say? The second key to the Bible was consciousness is the only reality. I speak to that by way of consciousness. I tell it what it is. Everything works in my favor. I don't have no fear. No, I don't know what's in the water, but the water is good for me. I can't buy everything organic. It don't matter. Huh? Had somebody ask me that in a circle. I'm like, listen, I give you guidelines. I give you suggestions. When I'm working with people, we work things through a certain protocol. However, the most important thing is you. Okay? In your mind and how you perceive things. And if you perceive things that everything is to your benefit, then that's what it is. So it don't matter what I got. It don't matter where I am. I'm good. No matter what I eat, I'm good. You think I'm going to tell myself that eating certain things is going to make me sick? You think I would tell myself that? Are you insane? No. My mind is everything. My mind says it's good. My mind says it's good. The world I see represents my thoughts. Fear is not justified in any form. Huh? What you say there? Huh? Let me say the other one again. Pain and suffering is the thought of evil taking form and wreaking havoc in your mind. It's all your mind. I was watching this movie, and it wasn't a scary movie. It was just like a, what do you call it? Like suspense or whatever. And my heart just started racing like I was in the movie. And I ain't like it. Like I was so anxious, like, Damn, the killer ain't after me. But I was reminded just how powerful you can you can transport yourself anywhere here. So why wouldn't I transport myself to heaven? My holy vision sees all things as pure. When I follow the plan appointed me, the end is secure. Woo! I like that one. Huh? Huh? What? I'm not a chaser. I'm not a follower. Why you chasing? You be still and know. I chase nothing. Anything that flees from me won't supposed to be there. Godspeed. Heaven can be chosen just as easy as hell. Why don't you choose heaven? Hmm? 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 Why don't you choose heaven? I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that bring pain. Hmm? I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. Your thoughts say, you would have been a better man if your father had taught you certain things. If your father had done this, you would be a better man. You would be a better woman if your mother was kinder and more gentler and she was more loving. That's your thoughts. That's only true if you make it true. You've given meaning to that. I don't have no if my daddy was a whatever. I don't know. That's made up. That's speculation. I have no damn idea what would be or if he was a this or that. I don't know. I spend no time on it. Everybody is here for a purpose. Your parents had a purpose. They got your funky ass here. The end. Any other stipulations you put on them, those are the ones you made up. And just like you made them up, you can unmake them. Ta-da! I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. And when I talk like this bothers somebody that comes to mind. They be so bothered, like, you don't understand. I do understand. I got some similarities in my own experience. I do understand. It's a choice. I choose heaven over hell. I will not remain in suffering. And if there are thoughts that keep me in suffering, I'm going to let them go. If there are expectations that people that I had that keep me in pain, I'm going to let it go. The end. Nothing else to talk about. You got it? Cool. I got one. I will not be afraid of love today. That's what you're afraid of. Damn. Damn. You afraid that life actually can be that good. You afraid. Oh my God. Like, have you ever thought about what that would be like? Because somebody said that it has to be pain. Somebody said anything worth having, you got to fight for. Who told you that? Who made that up? Because you didn't make that up. Who came up with that? I need to know. I need answers. Somebody said the good always die young. Who came up with that shit? And why you keep repeating it? They always take the real down. Who said that? Well, why would you repeat things like that? Do you see what you're doing? Like, you're playing a role. Like, we're all connected consciously. Why would you put that in the ether? Why? Why would you repeat that? You got to work for anything. You got to work hard for anything good. Who told you that? No, you don't. You just got to stop blocking it. That's all you got to do. Yeah. Simple. You are love. Why would you have to work hard for love? You might have you got some childhood stuff going on. I know that. I know some of that. When you weren't that love thing wasn't expressed that way. So you wanted to perform, and the better you perform, the happier your parents seem to be. So you started to make this connection that performance equals love. The more I perform for someone, that's how I can get their love. Yeah. Yeah. I know all about it. I know all about it. I know all about it. That ain't it though. No, you ain't got to work for no love. No. If you start to, this was a big wake up call for me. If you start to talk about why you love me and all you can name are the things that I do. Lord have mercy. I'm sorry to inform you, you don't love me at all. I'm sorry to inform you. Because if I ever stop doing those things, then what else? If you take those things away, then what we got left? What are we left with? You don't love me. You don't love me. You love my performance. That's what I say to the fellas. When you lead with all the things that you want a woman to do, right? You want her to perform. So don't get mad when you get a clown. Okay? Just FYI. Justine said that's how I was raised, having to reverse those people pleasing ways. Damn, that hurt my feelings a little bit to discover I was a people pleaser. Because I just thought, not me. Not me. Not Rook the Great, baby. Ooh. Ooh. That's the digging into self, the shadow work. Don't nobody want to do it. We get busy. See, my main escape has always been work. I can get real busy in work. But what I found is that even that got an expiration. See, when your inspiration and your drive starts to wane, oh man, what you gonna turn to then? I mean, you can continue to try to force it, certainly, but that don't work long term. It don't work long term. It's my thought. If I can get that impressed upon my mind, that is my thought. The whole freaking everything is telling you to mind your thoughts, to use your thoughts to create the life that you want. I'm pleading. I don't know why, because I ain't no pleader, but I just feel this urgency to plead with people to get the life that you want. I just don't care at this point of time. And I was chatting with my sister about this. I was like, listen, I'm not really interested in explaining certain things because one, I don't think you understand, but I don't expect you to get it. I'm like, I've given too much. I waited too long. I've entertained the irrelevant things too long. No, we're not gonna do that no more. Like, what will happen if you just choose yourself and your best life for the first time in your life? And you just get so confident. Like, I trust so much. Like, the things that I'm doing now, 2015 Rook is looking at me like, what in the is going on? Complete. Like, I don't know, but it don't matter. I don't know, but it don't matter. I know I'm good. You would not lead me in this direction and then leave me. You wouldn't point me, you wouldn't give me instructions to go here without provisions. I don't know what we're talking about. Here's another tip. Stop talking to people. Exceptional people need to stop talking to people. Talk to yourself, talk to God, talk to the birds, talk to the animals. Unless you just got somebody that's there. You got somebody or somebody's. But you need all your energy. Conserve that energy. Put all of your focus on your exceptional life. Spend no time. Just like the baby. The baby is in the womb right now. You got to keep the baby protected. Keep the baby covered. Don't explain nothing to nobody. I'd even say if you need to, you lie. Yep. So what you doing now? Oh, working at the post office. Nah. Whatever it is, like, don't get into nothing, because what ends up happening is you start to try one, you downplay yourself, right? You got these high, like, you're speaking high to yourself, but in order to make other people understand, you start to bring it down a little bit. Well, you know what? Now that I say that, let me ask y'all a question. This really bothers me. Why is it that y'all will do better in life right? No, you may not be rich, but you're doing a lot better in life, right? You can pretty much buy, you going to the grocery store, you ain't got to pull out no calculator, okay? You getting what you want. Why is it that you downplay that? Why is it that you still like to tell people you broke? Do you understand the contradiction that you're trying to affirm for abundance? And really, you don't have to affirm for abundance, right? You're already abundant. You got to stop blocking it. Excuse me. But on one hand, your mind is saying, okay, abundance, that financial freedom, this amount of money, this is it. This is going to be the thing that allows me to free me up to do these other things. But then on this side, I'm always broke. Nah, I ain't got no money. Nah, I'm cheap. Nah, I don't. I mean, you could be cheap, but why you do that? Why you downplay? I don't like that. That really bothers me. It's almost like, and I think it's some childhood stuff. Whenever somebody was doing good, or somebody would buy a new car or buy a new house or something, and the other person would say, "Oh, it must be nice," and the other person would try to downplay it. Well, it ain't brand new. Well, so and so helped give me a down payment for it. Like, why can't get hell yeah, it's nice. Yeah, I'm living a nice ass life. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to go and buy, $15 organic orange juice. I love it. It's delicious. Why do we downplay that? Why do I gotta? Do you think that makes you more relatable or something? What does that do? Are you more real? Like, it's like the idea of I'm gonna help sick people by staying sick. Maybe that's just me. Anyway, boys and girls, that's all I got. I just wanted to ask you, are you living a lie? Shout out to the person who reached out to me. You're going to know what to do when you need to do it. That's the good news. You can't get it wrong. That's the good news. But what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to bust a move. Don't ask for answers. Don't pray. Don't pray for direction and then get it and then don't want to do nothing with it. We're worried of the envy of others, so we try to be relatable to keep that target off the back. You know what? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I just think I don't know. I don't like it. And I think because one of the things that I had to, illness was one thing, and that was challenging coming out of and figuring that part out. But what was so deeply embedded, right, was that poverty consciousness, so disgusting, that money was bad and what is it? It's easier for what's that scripture than for a rich man to get to heaven. Something about a needle and a something. Can't remember it. But everything was about getting through a needle, yeah. How are you God and in lack? That makes no sense. How are you a God and you got just enough? That makes no sense. It's easy to get a camel hair through a needle. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Like, that makes no sense. Why would I entertain these thoughts? Why would I entertain these concepts? That's the holding on to the world, though, because you care. You care. You see, I get it. I know exactly what you're doing. You try. Mm-hmm. That's holding on to the world. You want to stay connected to that which you're moving beyond. That's what and you think it's like your way of holding yourself, keeping yourself in check. That I haven't gone too far, right? I'm staying humble. Yeah. Humility. Yeah, it's bullshit and it's a cop out. No, we need to see people who are honorable moving in abundance. That's what we need to see. The moral of the story is not to do less. That's poor, righteous bullshit. No, we need to see honorable people moving in complete abundance. That's what we need to see. That's the image we need to see. If you think people with money are doing all of these unethical, unmoral things, then get some money and show us how it's done the right way. How about that? Thank you. I would really appreciate that. That's what I would like to see. Thank you. It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven, a kingdom of God. And that's mainly what that verse is really alluding to, is more about when you're rich. See, rich does not mean just rich in dollars, right? You can be rich in arrogance. You can be rich in doubt. You can be rich in envy. You can be rich in fear. Like, you understand what I'm saying? It's always pointing back to your attachment to the physical world. So it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for one with that mindset to enter the kingdom. And the kingdom is within. Kingdom is essentially Christ consciousness. So what it's telling you is that the more you hold on to your humanity, is the more you cut yourself off from your divinity. That's what it's saying. That's your access. That's your key. Ding, ding, bing. You get it? Yeah. All right, good people. We'll chat soon. I got some things coming up. I have some things for you. I have some things for people who are going into the new year and who are not trying to who are not interested in Ozempic. Well, y'all, people can't get enough. People can't get enough, and I know people want me to be mad at the pharmaceutical companies, but why? Why? You want me to be mad at the drug dealers, but you lining up to take the drugs? The quick fix don't work. You got to get to the root of the thing. You got to get to the root of the thing. And your inability to mind your mouth, what it is that you're taking in, and why you have this attachment to food, and why you can't pull away, and why your body is manifesting holding on to waste and excess fat. That's what you should dive into. That's what you should. But that take too long. I know. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this crappy product on the market, and the rest of us gonna sit and watch this unfold, just like we did with those shots. Poverty consciousness is a perfect term. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's poverty consciousness. When you see people pocket watching, like the fact that you think somebody else being rich is inhibiting you in some way. Somebody else living in a home that costs this amount of money, or driving that kind of car, or having a business making X amount of dollars, somehow cuts you off. It's almost like saying, we got too many healthy people. Them healthy people is taken from my health. No, that's not how this works. That's not how this. Your mind is messed up. Your mind is broken. We got to get some pieces back together here. But that's what it is. And I know it well, because I had to move out of that. I had to tell myself, no. And that stupid thing you used to say, well, I just need just enough. No. We don't need just enough, baby. I need more. I need overflow. I came here for the overflow of life. That's all I see in nature. I see excess. So you can't tell me that that's wrong. You can't tell me that that's not orderly, because it is more than enough. I can do some things when I got more than enough. Yeah. I can help some people when I got more than enough. When I got more than enough just to cover me, yeah, I can say, look, I got that. Let me do this for you. Let me take care of this. Let me, you see what I'm saying? So I think those of us who are of the right mind and the right heart, we have responsibility. Lead. It's one thing to point out all of what's wrong with the world. With lead, damn it. Show us how it can be done in a better way. Show us what you would do. Don't tell me that it's wrong for so-and-so to go build a school in Africa. Well, damn it, you get some money and build a school in your neighborhood. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't like that whole opinion on what somebody should do with their money. You get the money and you do what you feel is the most vital and the most important thing to do. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. We shall chat soon, my friend. Have a good one. Peace.